Starting in... Hey everybody, welcome to Review Time with iSlip. I'm iSlip, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Earthrise Voyager Optimus Primal. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I said it like that. But there he is, and he turns into a gorilla, because that's what Optimus Primal does. And, yeah. He's a lot smaller than I would have preferred him to be. But, it's only because in the original Beast Wars, the toy of Primal turned into a big gorilla that was on par with Megatron's T-Rex. And in the show, there were discrepancies in the size where Optimus Primal was a lot shorter, a lot smaller than Megatron, but still pretty powerful. And then it turns out that later on that most of those Transformers were just about human size, if not slightly taller than human size, including Megatron, which makes him like a baby T-Rex maybe, or a teenager T-Rex, but not a full-size T-Rex, which is strange. Very, very, very strange. But that aside, we have Optimus Primal here, and he looks great. He has, I guess they're red eyes. Maybe they're supposed to be brown, like, because gorilla eyes are brown. And, actually, it's hard to see the details if I'm honest with you. I can't tell if he has pupils. I think he has pupils. Yeah, it's brown with pupils. So, I mean, that's cool and all. That's definitely better than the original toy's solid blue, which I don't understand. And the Cheetor that they made for the War for Cybertron trilogy, Kingdom, I don't understand why he has no pupils and why his colors, his eyes are just one solid color, when everybody else's has colors and pupils, and even Megatron, I think his red eyes don't have dots. Never mind. Megatron doesn't, but I mean, it suits him. So anyway, here we have him in his beast mode, and he comes with these two scimitar that you can plug into. There's ports right here and right there where you can tab these in if you want to have the sword stored on beast mode. It's not like the original where they stored underneath some of the fur. This actually just stores on the top, which I mean, okay, because technically he can still hold these in his beast hands, because they're just the same as the hands for the robot mode, which means he can also hold guns like this one, should he want to, which is actually, I have this gun usually with the original Beast Wars Optimus, which I'll bring out right. No, actually, before I do that, let's just go over articulation real quick. So his head can turn left and right, look down, look forward. Arms can rotate 360, and they can go out. They can rotate at what would be the robot upper bicep. They bend over 90 degrees. His wrists rotate, and his hands, thankfully, open and close a bit. So you can have a fist. Most gorillas walk on, well, they normally walk on their knuckles like this, but with him you can have him walking on his first knuckles. It's not quite right, but it's close enough. Or maybe that's how gorillas actually do walk. I don't know. That said, there is a bit of rotation at the waist if you need it. His legs rotate right here, and they also bend out, and you can get him. There is a way to get him. He has an alternate gorilla standing mode so that he can stand upright like he did in the show all the time. So what you do is you bend these like this and then like that. Do it on the other side as well. Bend it in like this and like that. And then you stand them up. Oh, also his toes move. They move down like that. But, so yeah, if you want to, you can have him standing straight up like he does in the show. Let's wiggle this up a little bit. And, bring this up a little bit. There we go. And from the side, it looks really bad. But from the front, it doesn't look quite so bad. You can lean him forward a little bit so that his little furriness here hides it a bit. Let's turn the light a little bit that way. This should be like, there we go. So that hides it a little bit, and it doesn't look too bad. From the side, it looks kind of bad. From the back, well, you can see his robot stuff, but I mean, it is what it is. So let me go ahead and put him back in his regular gorilla stance so we can get a comparison, proper comparison. There we go. So here he is, and here he is next to the original toy, and the original toy dwarfs him. I always thought that he was a giant ape. Like there was a giant ape in prehistoric times. I forgot what they called it, but it was a giant ape-like creature. It stood like, I don't know, 12 feet tall, 15 feet, something like that. It was pretty tall. And so I always thought, seeing as Megatron was a T-Rex, and I thought he was a normal size T-Rex, based on that, his robot mode would have been about the size of a regular Transformer, like, you know, 20 feet, 30 feet tall, since a T-Rex is normally like, what, 40 feet long? So, but no, I was wrong. He's just a regular sized gorilla. So we got big gorilla here, a little gorilla here. And you can see that, I mean, this toy was great for its time. This toy was awesome for its time. But this toy just honestly nails the gorilla aspect better. Although his head should be bigger. For a real gorilla, his head should be a little bit bigger than that. So this is a little more in proportion. Not quite. And his face doesn't look quite right, but that never looked right, especially because he does not have eyeballs like he's supposed to, whereas this guy has brown eyes with people. So here he is next to Impactor, so you get an idea of how he looks next to him. And he's a Voyager sized figure, so in robot mode he'll be a little bit taller than me. Get him into his, again, his standing gorilla mode. So in the standing gorilla mode, this is about, oops, this is, actually he's not, yeah, I mean, this guy, I don't know if this guy was supposed to be a deluxe or, I'm gonna say a Volkswagen, a Voyager. I don't think he's supposed to be a Voyager, but he's either a tall deluxe or a short Voyager. And this guy is about a deluxe size in his beast mode, but that is again because his legs are collapsed down some, so he's not at his full height. So that said, I'm not going to compare him to Megatron because Megatron is currently in robot mode, and it's gonna take too long to transform him back. So we'll save the size comparison for when he's in robot mode. So speaking of robot mode, let's go ahead and get that taken care of. So you want to open this piece here, which is really tight. Really tight. There we go, like that. Pull this out, flip this around, and he has the shoulder guns. So we're gonna go ahead and flip those out now, because if we don't flip them out now, you would have to unpeg the thing to do it again, and I don't really want to do that. So we're gonna flip those out, and then this, I believe you just, does it turn around? Do we turn you around and then collapse you down? No, we just leave it like this, I believe. We'll find out in a minute if I'm correct or not. And then this here flips around, and I think his head actually is supposed to turn around. Okay, there we go. There we go. And unfortunately, there's a big gap, but I did see somebody make something that fills that gap in. So that said, we're just gonna keep on going. So these go up, and there's a little click where it goes, and then you just kind of, his arms are as his arms are going to be, and we're gonna leave that like that. Flip this up for now. Yeah, I'm gonna flip this up and out of the way. Flip his crotch up, rotate him around. You can flip his crotch back down, and then this will be like that. And actually, I mean, it looks like it's supposed to plug in somewhere. Where are you supposed to plug in? There's a flight stand hole there. It looks like this is supposed to peg in somewhere, but I'll be honest with you, I don't really know where it's supposed to peg in, because I don't see a peg hole on his butt. So we're just gonna leave it like that anyway. Does this rotate around? Ah, no, rotates around, and that's why. And this plugs into a slot up here. Sorry about that, guys. So his back looks like that. Then we're gonna take his legs, straighten them out, flip his toes for the robot down, flip his toes for the, oh, actually, I guess we don't really do anything for that, do we? No, not really. That just stays the way it is. I don't know why I thought this flipped a certain way, but it does not. So it only flips down. So I mean, you can kind of make heels for him if you wanted to. It's not really necessary. So there we go. We have him in his robot mode, and he has his little shoulder cannons, which are cool. Again, you just open this up and you can flip the shoulder cannons back down if you want to. We're gonna leave them just as they are now, and that's him. So let's take a look. We're gonna lift this up so we can see. There we go. So you can see he got red painted eyes. That doesn't help very much. Okay. So he has red painted eyes. He has the actual faceplate mouth guard like he did in the show. I wish his blues were more blue. I don't like this kind of faded blue, but that actually might be in keeping with the actual show. I can't remember. But he looks really good. He's not very tall. It looks really good. His head rotates 360. It swivels up and down a little bit. No side to side. 360 at the shoulder. Arm goes out. Basically, it's what you got with the gorilla mode. 360 at the bicep. His arm now goes it's almost a double bend with his elbow, and 360 at the waist. Feet go all the way forward. If we move the flap, the feet go all the way back like so. As for side to side, let's get his arms out of the way. His legs, he can do almost a full split side to side. That's actually pretty good. Legs, there we go. They're supposed to bend there. So he's got one bend there, but if you really need it, well, actually it bends about like that far. If you really need to get his leg out even more, I guess you could break the sculpt and you can get a double knee if you want to. There is a rotation joint right there. Doesn't rotate very far, but there is a bit of rotation there. Toes go up and straight, and the feet wiggle back and forth, and his gorilla toes bend down in case you need to, I guess, get him in a walking pose. That'll support the walking pose, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Can't really get him in a running pose because he doesn't balance quite well. Actually, kind of get him in a running pose. If you really need to, you can balance him that way. That's possible. Let's see, can I get it even more forward without him falling down? Yeah. So you can kind of get him in a running pose if you need to. He's fairly posable. There is a lot you can do with him if you want. So, and again, you can plug a flight stand into his butt if you want to get him flying. I have no idea what I did with that flight stand thing that I was using before. If I'm honest with you, it's all the way over there. I'm not going to go get it. So, yeah. And again, you can store his scimitar on his back in robot mode if you want to. That just plugs, again, right into those same ports I was talking about before. Come on, there we go. There's one, and there is two. And if you want to, you could get him posed where he's about to grab the scimitar. I mean, his arms reach all the way back. You can actually probably, yeah, yep. If you look, it's actually grabbing the scimitar. So you can do that if you want to. Have him in a pose where he's about to slice and dice. That actually came out. Let's see, yeah. So you can do that if you want to. He also has wrist wrist blaster. So you can just do this and pull this up. And he has don't mind my dog and the people that I live with. He has his wrist blasters. He does not have the mace that the original toy had, but if you get Paleo Trex, you can get that mace, or part of that mace, if you really want it. I would love to get a Paleo Trex. I have not found one, but maybe I will soon. And here we go with a size comparison. Here he is with Impactor, and he is a good size. Here he is next to the Megatron from this line, and he is tiny. But if you looked at the Masterpiece toys, he was like that. And if you look at the scale for the show, for the original show, he was a lot shorter. I don't remember him being like that, to be honest with you, but when I go looking at the scale charts, he's always so much shorter. So yeah, that's that. And let me go ahead and get the original toy. This is actually an original. I am missing the face, the mutant mask for this Optimus Primal toy, but that's fine because I don't really like the mutant mask anyway. So there we go, and you can see he is way shorter. Although I think he's in better proportions, although he looks a lot more powerful, if I'm honest with you. But I think he's got the better proportions. Maybe, I don't know. And like I said, the original had, where is the thing? There it is. So the original had this, and he didn't have a wrist guns, but he did have a mace, which this one doesn't have. I have it with my Universe repaint. That one came with the mace, but this one didn't. This one also has the scimitar. Well, these scimitar actually belong to my Universe one. These are supposed to be blue, but oops. He's got the scimitar, and he's got the over-the-shoulder launchers. I have the missiles somewhere. I don't know where they are, and that's the way I'm going to keep it, because I don't need them. I don't need these missiles firing off by accident when I pick them up and accidentally press that button and get shot in the eye. So it's nice that it had the missiles. I don't need it, but that's cool. So there's the original, and this guy, his chesting matches a little more with the original animation than this guy does, but I like this guy's head. It looks like Optimus Prime. I wish it had a faceplate, but yeah. So that's that. Anyway, so that said, this guy is actually pretty awesome. I wish the price point were cheaper, because he's really a deluxe-sized figure. He's a deluxe-sized figure in the classic Transformers universe, you know, line, rather than the current line, which is I don't know what I'm doing. The point is, he's smaller than a Voyager should be. He is a Voyager according to the new line. The current line is, this is the Voyager, but he's really, honestly, he's just a deluxe. But you know, it is what it is. Hasbro has done they've done what they've done, and it is what it is. I mean, it is a quality figure though, so I'm not that mad at it. It's definitely leagues better than the I'm always going to go back to the Prime Robots in Disguise figures that were so, like, some of them were transparent almost, like you could see your finger behind. If you went behind a flap like this, you would see your finger behind it because it was so thin. So this guy is pretty cool. He's very posable. He feels very solid. You don't really see any hollow pieces, to be honest with you, other than obviously that, but even that's not that bad. He's actually fairly solid. Fairly solid, and I am happy that I got him. So that said, thank you for joining me for this review, and ciao.